How's it going, guys? It's Mr. Jones. We're back here in Adobe Dreamweaver. This is lesson number 8. Last lesson, we took a look at how to create class selectors. We took our 4 index box ID selectors and made them into a single class selector. So let me remind you real quick what the major difference between an ID selector and a class selector is that ID selectors can only be used on a single element, whereas class selectors can be used multiple times. So what we're going to take a look at today is how to create text within our document. Now, to actually make the text, no big deal. You just start typing, right? So you're going to get inside your div here. You can either do this in the design view, clicking up here. There we go. And you can start typing, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Or if you're not sure if you're getting directly inside the div, meaning let's say you can't really click inside of it and you're clicking somewhere funky like right here. So I just clicked, right? If I start typing, that totally throws my div off, because if you see down here in my code, I was not inside any div. See here, it's outside the sidebar and it's above the clear. I'm not even close to that body, right? So if you're not sure if you're getting inside that body, click inside of it down here in your code and then start typing. What that'll do is create you some room up here to start finish up your typing up here, right? Okay, so you can either enter in your code from design view up top or from code view down bottom, whichever one's easiest for you. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. In this lesson, we're going to create some text inside our body, and we're going to make a footer. Okay, and I'm going to leave everything else up to you guys. And I'm going to use this just to show you guys how to put your text in, how to format it using the properties panel, and how to format it using CSS selectors, class selectors. So we're going to start down in our footer. So if you'll come on down to your footer down here on the bottom, and I'm actually going to make this footer a little smaller. So if you want to come to your footer ID, and I'm going to make its height about 50 pixels. 100 is just too much for this. 50 is going to look a little bit better. So go ahead and change your footer's height to about 50 pixels. Then in your code, get inside your footer div here. And we're going to create a copyright, okay? But we need a copyright symbol. You'll notice the copyright symbol is not on your keyboard. So we're going to come to our start menu, and we're going to type in CHAR map, char map, character map, right? Hit enter or come select character map. And if you've never used this before, this is simply a collection of different characters that you can use inside Windows. Use these for anything that you ever need. Just know that this is here. We're going to grab the copyright symbol. Now we can either hit select and copy and then go paste it, or we can actually use this keystroke shortcut Alt and 0169 and it will come up. So I can hit copy and then I can come here and paste. There's my copyright symbol, or I can do Alt 0169 and it'll come up as well. Okay, so I'm gonna just put something random, copyright Mr. Jones is awesome incorporated. Click up here so it'll refresh, and there we go, right? So there's my footer. I'm going to show you how to edit this or how to format this using your CSS designer and a class selector. So we're going to come over here to our selectors, and we're going to go to add selector, and this is going to be a class, so we're going to put a dot, and we're just going to say dot footer, right? Keep it simple. Now we get our normal properties here that we would normally see. What I would say is go ahead and hit this T right here, and what that's going to do is it's going to bring this properties panel down to all the properties that deal with text. So we'll hit that T. We're now on the text properties. I'm going to change my, if you'll notice there's a lot of different properties here. I'm only going to go through a few today, but feel free to look through all of them. I'm going to change my color to white because I think it'll look good on that blue background. I'm going to change my font style, or sorry, my font family to something else, just something kind of random, say Gil Sands, whatever. Change the weight. I'm going to make it a little smaller. Tell you what, we'll do that with the size. We'll do font size and we'll just make it small. Okay, and I'm going to align my text to the right hand side. Now, again, there's lots of other combinations here, a lot of other properties you can deal with. I'm only going to do the basic stuff, but feel free to go through there and play around with it as you want. Okay, so that's done. I'm going to give it a white color, a new font family. I'm going to make it a little smaller, and I'm going to align it to the right hand side. So anything that I give this font class to is going to get those properties. Okay, so I'll come here and I'll highlight my text, or I can highlight the entire div, whichever one you want to do. I'm just going to highlight my text. I'm going to come down here to my properties panel to where it says class, and in this list it's going to list every class that I have. Notice I've got my index box class and I have my brand new footer class. Select that and bam, it's given every property that I have listed here, even aligning to the right hand side. Okay, and it'll update as you update over here. So if I wanted to not make this small and keep it medium, it'll update as I change the properties. Okay, so from there, let's come on up to our body, and we're going to keep this simple. We're just going to create some text about ourselves. So we'll start by putting our name up here and say Mr. Jones, and say, hi, my name is Mr. Jones and I like to eat food. Below is a list of some food that I really like. Okay, so this is what I'm going to have you do. I'm going to have you just type a little paragraph about yourself and then give me a list of something, you know, some kind of food you like or places you like to go or something like that. And it's just, I want to see that you guys can use these different properties. So I'm going to say, I really like hamburgers. And why did I hit my caps lock, right? Hamburgers, pizza, and ice cream. Okay, keep it simple. And here's what I want to show you guys, right? So as I'm typing up here in my body and design view, in my code, it's creating my paragraphs for me. Okay, if I was typing in code view down here, it would not create that code for me. All right, so just something really cool about Dreamweaver that you'll notice is how it creates your code for you as you type. So now I'm going to come over here to my CSS Designer tab, or actually first let me show you your properties panel. There are a couple of properties that you can handle from the properties panel, like I can bold and italicize text from here. If you come to the format drop down box, you can actually change to a predetermined H1 or H6 or a paragraph format. So I can do like H1 there and stuff like that that's already pre-made. And I can also do, I'm going to do my points from here, my ordered list or my unordered list. I can do numbers, I can do unordered lists with bullets, I can do indentions and all that straight up from this properties panel. So pretty cool there. I'm going to go ahead and do my bullets from here. So there, just make my bullets, that's done. I'm going to take these properties off of here that I just did, the bold and italicize, because I'm going to make this in my CSS designer. I'm going to format that over here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the plus sign here to make a new selector, and I'm going to call this title, and I'm going to make a general class selector for any kind of titles that I'm going to have on my page, so that every title that I have is going to look exactly the same and have the same format. And that's generally what these class selectors are used for. They're to make sure that your page, everything has some kind of predetermined format, and nothing, it doesn't look like you're doing just crazy stuff all over the place. Everything looks formatted correctly. So title, I'll tell you what, I'm going to change this to a blue, or no, I'll keep that like it is. For my title here, I'm going to center my titles. And I'm going to make sure that it's a little bigger than normal, so maybe extra large. Let's see what else I want to do here. I don't want to italicize. I'm going to leave the font the same. Oh, that looks good. I think that's all I'm going to do here is make sure it's centered and make sure it has a font size of extra large. Okay, I think that's all I'm going to do. Okay, well, tell you what, I'll go ahead and underline it too. So that we end up with simply underlining the text, centering it on the page, making it a little bigger with the extra large font size. Okay, now I'm ready to apply it to my text here. Okay, so I'm going to come here to Mr. Jones. Now this is important. For this alignment to work, I either need to apply this to the body div or I need to make sure that this Mr. Jones is inside its own paragraph. And I'll apply it to a paragraph. Okay, so there I've made it a paragraph. If I click up here, you'll notice it adds a little line there, a little space. I'll come here to highlight Mr. Jones, come here to class and select title. And there we have it. There's my title. I can go here and make that bigger if I'd like to. It's up to you. The last div or the last class I'm going to make, I made a footer, I made a title. Now I'm going to make a simple body here. Or sorry, started typing in the wrong place. So I'm going to do a dot body. Come to text. And for this, I'm simply going to change the color. So all I'm going to change here is I'm going to change everything to blue. There. And I'm going to give everything inside this div that color. So I'm going to come here in my code where it says div ID equals body. I'm going to add a space, class equals body. And watch this. Bam, everything's blue, right? Pretty cool. So now I have a body class, title, and a footer class. That's all you need to do for me for this assignment. The last thing we're going to do is I'm going to create some space in here. Pretty easy stuff. If you'll notice, this is coming way over to the left hand side and it's really butting up against that sidebar. So I'm going to come to my body ID selector, come down here to the properties, and I'm going to find my padding. And I'm going to add a 10 pixel padding in here. Now watch what happens once I add this padding. I'm essentially going to be adding 10 pixels all the way around this body div. So what's going to happen is it's going to totally push that div out of the way. There. So it didn't fit anymore. It pushed it all the way to the bottom. So if I come up here and I'm going to do some math real quick, pull up my calculator. My total width was 940. I gave that body div a 75% width. So that width of that body was 705. When I added 10 pixels to the left hand side and the right hand side, it pushed it out of the way. So what I have to do is take 10 and 10 away, and it leaves me with what I have left to work with, which is 685 pixels. Okay. If you'll also notice, it also added 20 pixels to the top and bottom. So I'm I got a little bit of extra room here that I need to get rid of. So I'm actually going to subtract 20 away from 500 as well and come with 580 pixels, and you'll see that it, oh, sorry. What was my height there? 500. So it should be 480. There we go. And now we see that it fits, okay? And it's not so close to the edge there. So this is essentially what I'm wanting you to do today. I want you to make 3 different classes: footer, title, body. Format them really any way that you want them to, but I want you to demonstrate kind of what I've demonstrated here. Color, let's see what else. Demonstrate that you can do colors, you can do weights, sizes, and alignments, even a text decoration. Okay, play with that stuff and make sure that you demonstrate that you can create all 3 of these classes and make them a little bit different from each other. Okay, remember that for your title to work, you'll have to put it inside of a paragraph like this, and for your whole body to get a class, you'll have to add it inside of this div tag right here. That's it. Stay tuned for the next lesson.